As of a few months ago with the press launch for the XSR900, I have ridden every offering currently available from Yamaha with the CP3 engine. That puts me in an interesting position because for once, I'm not wondering if the grass is greener under another bike. Naturally, that begs the question, who did it best? And today, hopefully, we're gonna answer that question. What's going on, y'all? I'm Chase, and let's get into it. CP3 King. Who gets the crown? Now, it's not uncommon for a manufacturer to build a bike, or rather a platform, and then season to taste depending on the application. In fact, it's pretty run-of-the-mill. For instance, how many times have you been perusing Facebook Marketplace when you come across a listing for a Honda Rebel, but in the image for the listing, there's a CB250 proudly on display? Even at this year's EICMA, you can still see OEMs doing this. Suzuki just dropped their GSX 8S and their new V-Strom 800. I can almost guarantee from just looking at the images alone, these two bikes have twin chassis. Maybe not identical, but twins nonetheless. The same goes for Yamaha and all 3.5 of their motorcycles that happen to sport the CP3 engine, the Chaseontwowheels GT, the MT09, and the MT09 SP, and as well as our XSR900 here. In order to ensure a set amount of functionality and to keep costs down, Yamaha saw it fit to copy its own homework, and rightfully so. Have you seen how hard engineering homework can be? Sorry about the audio, guys. As you can hear, that's why we're filming inside today, because Georgia is pissing all over us. Let's go to the bike and take a closer look so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. You guys see right here where the steering stem is, all the way back to where the swing arm starts? This is where you'll find the most similarities between all CP3 bikes. Also, to demystify things a bit, this is what we'll be referring to as when we say the CP3 platform, a crossplane inspired inline 3-cylinder engine, 6-speed transmission meant for masterful levels of torque, all surrounded by an aluminum frame. No matter which flavor of CP3 you opt for, this is the keystone to your happiness. This is also why you know what to expect when you hop off of one CP3 bike and onto another one. So what makes the XSR900 so good? Well, for starters, it's comfortable. The seat height of the XSR900 sits just below 32 inches, and depending on which of the two positions you choose for the rear sets, you can expect foot placement to either be at or below axle height. Put those two attributes together, and you have a purposeful yet mellow bend in your legs, which pairs with the slight forward lean of the upper body. Rather than opting for a flat bar to achieve an attack-style body position or even lower clip-ons like full-on race replicas, Yamaha took mercy on our backs and our wrists by giving us a usable bar and usable height. If you've had the opportunity to sit on any of the other CP3 bikes, you may remember that riding position is fairly upright and neutral. Seeing as most riders will use these bikes to commute over varying distances while ripping up back roads in their off time, these ergos make perfect sense. However, if you find yourself in my situation with a short commute, the XSR seems like the best fit. Motorcycles are what I do for a living, and as a result, I don't often get a chance to ride my own stuff for pleasure. From the time my garage door opens to the time I pull up at WBR Garage, I shoehorn my personal riding time, and the XSR900 aligns well with the amount of comfort to time ratio that I need on a day-to-day. Now, let's move on down and talk about suspension. The XSR900 comes with a fully adjustable suspension set up by KYB in both the front and the rear. This is something you'll notice across all of the CP3 bikes, with slight tweaks to the swing arm from bike to bike. For the MT09, it's 56.3, for the Tracer 9, it's 59.1, the XSR 900, however, is 58.9. In this case, I guess size does actually matter, because where the MT09 can feel squirrely and the Tracer 9 be a little flat-footed, the XSR 900 always comes across as well balanced and poised for all situations. As I stated earlier, most people who opt for this bike more than likely won't be using the bike to commute that often. blasting down boulevards and zipping through traffic. Likewise, I can assure you most riders won't travel far on this bike. However, the longer swing arm, similar to that on the Tracer 9 GT, makes for a predictable and capable feel when the XSR 900 tracks through a corner. Not to say you have nothing to worry about throwing this bike into a corner, but the normal imperfections in the road don't translate to the ride as much. As a result, for me, it had an effect on my confidence in the bike and how much I'm able to push the envelope. All that being said, the electronic suspension on the Tracer 9 GT is pretty dope though. As far as power goes, the XSR 900 is every bit as good as every other bike built on the CP3 platform, so this is a bit of a moot point. More than enough power off the line, and you can expect the brunt of the grunt somewhere around the middle, even though these things tend to be a little rev happy. That being said, I can't speak one way or the other about any of the XSR's siblings. Though by nature the 899cc 3-cylinder power plant has a knack for making spirited riding just a bit better. I know I, just like many others, am a firm believer that it's fun to ride a slow bike fast, but you can't help but also be of the mindset that it's all fun to hoon around on an overpowered bike. The XSR 900 is in the top percentile for hot rod bikes to make short rides fun. I can't say it enough, I don't get a whole lot of time to ride for me, so when I do, I have a lot of ground to cover. The XSR 900 produces 115 horsepower and 63-ish foot-pounds of torque. There is absolutely no way I could utilize all of that power on the street, but sometimes it's not about the whole. To put it into words, it's like leftovers. After you've gone out to eat, you don't think about how good the burger was. No, our brains are hardwired to look onwards to what's next. On the other hand, can't you say the same thing about a full box of leftovers? The minute you close the box, you're already plotting out your midnight snack. Yeah, the XSR 900 is just like that. Speaking of the fun things, let's talk about my favorite part of the bike, and that's the looks. The design of the XSR 900 is overtly retro-inspired and goes completely against the grain of all the other CP3 bikes. In a way, it's almost simplistic. No hard edges or abrupt transitions, which aren't bad, but most CP3 bikes in the past haven't had the easiest time in the public eye with such aggressive designs. To be frank, the XSR is kind of refreshing. Most modern takes on cafe bikes look solely at the 50s and 60s for the inspiration, while the XSR also pulls from the 70s and 80s as well. I mean, come on, where else do you think the designers at Yamaha got inspiration for the blocky beauty of a tail section? Let me just acknowledge that I know the seat will not appeal to some. The 70s and 80s in the bike world aren't subject to that same ubiquitous nostalgia armor as the 50s and 60s. For me though, I'm here for it. It's just retro enough that it doesn't immediately date itself, so you have to stare and contemplate what came where and why. When I get off my bike and walk away, I want to have that moment of look back, because you just have to remind yourself, I'm riding that. And all the aforementioned design cues play into that. It's hard to find a bad bike in the current world of motorcycling, and the 2022 Yamaha XSR 900, alongside all of its siblings, only affirms that statement. Granted, each bike has their own intended audience. If you're looking for easy, the MT09 base model is the bike for you. Everything works well, and the bike just requires you to be present. Are you more of the type, do you want all the prestige of having all the features without compromise? May I show you the MT09 SP. Besides being the bike to beat, you get the satisfaction of knowing your bike is just a cut above the rest, and all of that comes in at only $1,300 over the base model MT09. Maybe you don't want any of those things. You just want the open road and the ability to go when your time allows. You'll be happy to know the Tracer 9 GT has your back. That being said, it's also the most expensive, but after spending a load of time on it, I'm looking at you, Iron Butt Challenge video, I feel like it's totally worth that larger price. For me though, the XSR 900 is king because of the tweaks Yamaha saw fit to make. Lower the bars, lower the seat height, and nudge the rear wheel back 2.6 inches. 3 simple changes, and there was a noticeable enough difference to have the XSR900 be sold under its own moniker and not an MT09 with a lazily attached letter. For the typical rider, motorcycles will always be a full step ahead of their abilities because no matter how hard you think you're pushing the bike, it will more than likely be capable of just a little bit more. Without actually reducing the talent of the bike, Yamaha made it feel as if the XSR900 is only half a step ahead of your rider ability. Take this for example. During my time with the MT09 SP, I would throw that bike into a corner and more often than not, found that the bike would become upset with certain inputs. Now, with the XSR900, that drama is missing. I can chunk this bike into a corner and know that the line will remain true to what I intended. It's like the XSR900 is actively filling in any gaps or micro variations that you don't perceive until a certain threshold. Then, to top it all off, Yamaha made this thing a freaking piece of art, which is how I'm sure we all want to feel about our motorcycles. Guys, thanks for watching this video. I was so stoked to be able to have this bike in the shop, and it honestly pains me to say that this is our last video with the 2022 XSR 900. Now, I do truly love this bike, and more than ever, I'm tempted to rearrange my garage so I don't have to part ways with it. But right now, it ain't in the cards. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and leave a comment, and for all kinds of two-wheel content, consider subscribing. Until next time, I'm Chase, this is Chase on Two Wheels. You guys ride safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Outro crew, thank you for getting to the end of the video. Make sure to put OC in your comment and make sure to like the video. And at the time of filming this, Yamaha has filed patents for an FZF-R9, but nothing is confirmed. The CP3 family is growing and we're here for it, but what do you all think? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye to both you guys and the bike. That sucks.